Hey guys, Mrs. Daniel here, and I am going to help you understand how to compare and order integers. And integers are simply positive and negative whole numbers. Remember that whole numbers just means that there's no fractions and decimals. In 6th grade, this is the first time that you start learning about negative numbers, and we kind of rock your world. It kind of makes things a little bit more difficult until you get comfortable with these types of numbers. So I'm going to show you today how to put these numbers in order from greatest to least. So I'm going to get my highlighter, and I'm going to make sure that I highlight so I remember greatest to least. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself a side note. And greatest to least also means large to small. So like I really don't want to forget that. So I'm just going to kind of write that over to the side. So now what I have to do is I have to understand the difference between a positive number and a negative number. And I think one of the easiest ways to do this might be to look at a number line. So I'm just going to draw a number line. Nobody says we have to be nice and neat, okay? And on my number line, I'm going to start by putting a 0 in the middle. Just know that 0 doesn't always have to be in the middle, but I am going to put a 0 there today because it makes it a little bit easier for us, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding other values. I'm going to add some positive values, and I'm going to count by 5s, and I'm just going to say 5 and 10, okay? And then I think it's easy. I think you would understand if we wanted to, we could go 15, 20, 25. And the more positive you get, I don't even know if you can say that, but if you get more positive, the more right you go, okay? So negative is the exact opposite of positive. So I want you to think if you're going right, okay, if you're going right to be positive, then we're going to be going left to be negative. So over here, I'm going to make marks, but I'm going to go to the left. So just like I go one jump to the right for positive 5, I'm going to go one jump to the left to be negative 5. So that these are equal distance from 0. So I'm still going to count like I did over here. I went 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to go the opposite direction because positives and negatives are opposites. So this guy is going to say negative 10, and then this would be negative 15, negative 20, and negative 25. And the more negativer we go, I'm pretty sure I just made that word up, but the more negativer we go, it means the more left we go, okay? And so something that you're going to have to remember in using your number line is this. These are the smaller numbers on the left. These are our absolute smallest numbers. The lefter you go, the smaller you go. And then our numbers on the right side are the bigger numbers, okay? These are the bigger numbers. Kind of wrote that funky, didn't I? Here we go. So keep in mind that all positive numbers will always be bigger than negative numbers. Okay, that's a fact. And if you look at it and we just kind of analyze for, like, seriously, we just analyze for a moment and we just look at the numbers. When we follow this pattern and we go to our 5, to our 10, to our 15, to our 20, to our 25, the numbers are getting bigger as we go to the right. Now, when we go to the left, 10, it feels like it should be bigger. Like this 10 right here feels like it should be bigger than this 5. But because it's negative 10, it's considered to be opposite, okay? So it's like owing money. If I owe $10 compared to owing $5, okay, I'm more in debt, which means I have less. So the more left we go, even though the numbers appear to be bigger, it's like opposite day. They are the absolute smallest numbers. So negative 15 is even smaller. Negative 20 is even smaller. Sorry, that was a 20. And a negative 25 is even smaller because the bigger it looks, the smaller its value. Okay? So, because I took my whole space, I'm going to get my eraser, and pardon me, and I'm going to erase everything here except for my note that I had made. Okay, and you can always rewind and rewatch that part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start placing my numbers in order. Okay, I do notice that I have, let's see, a negative number and a negative number. Okay, I have 0, and I have positive number, and I have a positive number. Notice that I use circles and squares to kind of help me. This is a really big deal because it helps me identify which numbers are going to come first and which numbers are going to come last, because I know all positive numbers are bigger than negative numbers. Okay, so let me start off by making myself some pretty cool answer blanks. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I kind of like that pen. And then underneath them, I'm going to write large to small. Or we could do, oops, see that L got erased here, it's missing. We could do greatest to match the problem. Greatest to least over here, whatever you prefer, okay? I'm a big believer in writing that out to help myself so I don't make any mistakes, okay? So if I want the greatest number, I'm gonna go to my positive numbers first. My positive numbers beat 0 as well. 0 is kind of our middle guy, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna look at 8 to 5, and I'm pretty confident in saying that 8 is larger than 5. So I'm gonna write that guy, okay? I cross him off. He's been used, don't look at him anymore. I'm gonna go to my next positive number, which is 5. Done, no more positive numbers. Positive numbers are bigger, okay? So now I'm gonna go to 0. He separates my positives and my negatives. Okay, so remember, the positives are on this side because I am looking for the largest numbers first. That's what the problem asked for. And over here, I'm gonna have my negative numbers because it asked for me to end with my least values. So now I have two numbers to compare, and this is what I have to scratch my head and think about. It's kind of difficult. So I'm just going to draw myself that little number line again, and I'm going to put that little 0 in the middle because it helps me. And then I'm going to start thinking 2, 4, 6, 8, or I could think 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are my positive numbers, okay? I might count by threes, and I'm just picking, I'm just randomly choosing numbers that will help me. So I'm thinking 3, 6, 9, 12, okay? So now I'm going to come to the other side of the number line, and I'm going to do my negatives. Okay, here we go. And on my negatives, I'm going to go equidistant, right? So if going to the right here is positive 3, then going to the left here is going to be negative 3. And then this is going to be negative 6, and this is going to be negative 9. Okay, and remember, the lefter I go, the more negative you get, and the more negative you get, the smaller value you are. So I think now I kind of can figure out what I'm doing because I'm going backwards on my number line here. So my next larger value, the next biggest value, is going to be this negative 6. So I'm going to put my negative 6 here. And my negative 9 is going to be my smallest value because he is the leftist number. He is the most negative, and the most negative number is always going to be your smallest number. Okay, so I have officially put these numbers in order from greatest to least. I hope that helps you. Thanks, guys. See you later.